says Chairman.
Okay, Bob Gibson, you ready?
Thank you, Chairman. So the first request is to fill one caseworker position, base salary 55,293, and any backfills created therefrom.
I'll move it, Rick.
I'll second.
Second, Holding. Oh, Guzzi's got it.
All right. Rick and Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I'll also say, that was out of I'll say whether it's resignation or retirement. And that was a resignation.
Right.
Okay, the next request is for one child support specialist position. Vital to the day-to-day. It doesn't have unfortunately, I'll read for it because it's not on the resolution. It's a 12A, grade 12A. Oh, no, there it is. 45,158 and any back fills created therefrom. This was due to an untimely passing from a COVID complication.
Move it, Holding.
Second, anybody? Scalera, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Now, this final request, I'll explain a little bit. I'm asking that the board at my meeting in the next hour to convert one of my clerk typist positions over to a community services aide position. They're both great, the same grade, 10-5. What happens as I look at it is that the community services aide subsumes all of the duties of the clerk and then some. So as these positions become open, it makes much more sense for me to hire them on as CSAs than just clerks because they can do more work for me. It's no fewer positions for the union, so it will require the same number of members as we go along. It's just the title allows for more duties to be done.
That's cleared through civil service, Bob?
So it did go down to Becky and it did go down to Michael.
I'll move it, Scalera.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And that's all I have. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Bob.
Bob,
See you,
could I
Bob.
ask a question?
Of course.
How are you finding for filling these vacancies? It seems like each month we have, resignations, retirement, unfortunately the passing, and I know it's been hard to hire. So what is your overall picture? I know we ask this almost every month, but what does that look like right now?
Well, it's not pretty. Case loads for my workers are very high. As you know, now we've been cleared and for months have been trying to post. Now it's just getting people to sign up for the tests. And then when they do, getting them to come in and getting them to accept. But I will say we have brought a couple of caseworkers on. We just lately hired a couple of social welfare examiners. So I'm hoping that means lately we're starting to trend in the right direction.
Commissioner, I have a quick question now. Do you go off the clerk typist list when you're picking this individual? Or is there a separate list for the community service?
There is. So ultimately, that's what we would end up doing after the conversion.
I see. Good enough. Thank you.
And I just want to add for Supervisor Holtling's regarding her question, there are some steps through this budget process that we're trying to take to alleviate some of this problem, as well as through negotiations with UPSU. So hopefully we'll have a positive result, which should help us with recruitment.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, is that it, Bob?
That is it. Thank you, folks.
Thank you. Jack?
Okay. So this is to fill a public health nurse under the Public Health Corps grant. We are receiving $849,000 over the course of 2 years to create positions. This was Governor Cuomo's initiative to help rebuild local health departments devastated by resignations and retirements in the light of COVID. And so this would be entirely funded by a grant. I know that Michael has had conversations with the union in regard to this position not being necessarily a permanent one. On the other hand, part of the initiative is also to create a situation where health departments can backfill positions as retirements come. I can certainly say that I see at least 2 retirements among the nursing corps here in the next 2 years. So I think that this person would be somebody who would be able to slide into a permanent position. It is one of the required positions that you have to create under the Corps, Public Health Corps, but also help with immunizations and testing. So I think it's going to be a valuable position to have now.
Move it, Hoatling.
Second, Scalera.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. Tony DeMarco.
No, solid waste.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw Public Works up top. Don't go away, Tony. You're next.
I'm not going anywhere.
Jolene, I'm sorry. Jolene? Ron, you want to handle this?
Certainly, yeah, we're looking in solid waste for authorization to fill one part-time labor position in solid waste at the step 1 hourly rate of $16.51 due to resignation.
Move it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Chairman, can I just ask a quick
I'm
question?
sorry. Okay,
Sorry. In the body of the request, it said 16 something an hour, and then at the salary line, it said 19 something an hour. Am I just reading that wrong, or is there a typo somewhere?
One is
See, under
current,
grade 11,
the person who's currently in it is 1942. And then if it's a new person that doesn't have longevity or whatever, it's 1651.
okay, thank you.
okay. Next, facilities. Brian McDonald?
Good afternoon. Due to a resignation, we are requesting to fill one vacant budgeted part-time labor position. Just to continue the operational needs of the department, with staff shortages.
I move that.
I'll
Second.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Now it's Tony.
First one is to fill one position of road foreman and any vacancies created therefrom in the highway department. Upon the retirement of the present foreman at the grade 15 base salary of $55,293, contingent upon the length of county service of the appointee. And this position will become vacant on January 4th, 2022. Is put in as notification that it will be retiring. So being that it's smack in the middle of winter, it'll be a position that I'd like to fill upon retirement.
So am I reading this one correctly, that the same way the grade 15 salary 55,293 is the outgoing and the incoming person's going to make more at 57,293?
Now the current, currently is budgeted at 57,293. That's without overtime. The incoming person, it would be 55,293. The difference being longevity. So not knowing what the longevity would be of the person filling that position, we just give the base salary of 55,293.
Got it. But Kelly, on the last one, it was switched. You gave the opposite explanation, that the one on the top next to the grade was
Right,
the
but
outgoing.
if you read the questions, what was the vacant position salary amount? 55,293. That on the last one, that was correct. I don't go by what's up top. We go by what's in
So
the questions.
So it could just be that people are putting the numbers in the wrong spots because it was flipped the last one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, All right, thank you. I'll move it.
Second, Scalera.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.
Second one, fill one budgeted vacant position of motor equipment operator 2 in the highway department. Any vacancies therefrom at the grade 12C base salary of 47,005, contingent upon the years of county service of the appointee. This is vacant due to a resignation. The employee moved well out of the county, so he had to resign.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Aye.
And that's all I have for that.
All right. Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
Next is Human Services. Dan,
Yep,
I'm
hi,
up.
good Thank you, Chairman. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Just one resolution today for the replacement due to a vacancy as a result of a retirement. This is our psychiatric nurse practitioner. She will be retiring on, I believe, January 16th, but has given her notice.
Says resignation in the body.
We can amend that. It is a retirement.
Okay.
All right.
I'll move it. Hoatling?
Thank you.
Second, Scalera.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ron, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on. This is again due to a retirement at the end of the year to fill our purchasing agent. So this will be effective January 1st of 2022 to fill his position.
I'll move that.
I'll second.
Basson.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Next, okay, Jim, do you think you can handle the next one?
Sure. Resolution appointing James A. Bragg as a Columbia County Controller Auditor.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. I believe everyone got copies of the resume. We sent it out to
Mhm.
to the committee.
Yep. We're gonna miss Ron, but we look forward to working with this gentleman.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Ron. Next, I'm gonna ask Ron not to discuss this.
So we have a resolution to appoint a commissioner of public works. This is something we've been working on for a number of months. We did advertise, interview, and we have a great applicant here. Mr. Ray Jerkowski has applied for this job. He's ready to retire from CPL and now to work for the county full-time. And so this resolution would appoint Ray Jerkowski as the commissioner of public works for Columbia County.
I'll move that.
I'll second that, Basson.
Is there a salary attached to that?
Yes, $130,000.
No, I mean attached to the resolution here.
I don't know. That's what we had.
It isn't, but we can add it, Rick.
I'm sorry, what?
It doesn't show on there, but we can add it.
I'm just thinking I'm not gonna be the only one asking, that's all.
Yeah, no, it should reflect that on there.
Okay.
You just beat me to it, Scalera. I was gonna ask the same thing.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution with the salary being added to the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. I just would like to say, I mean, I've worked with Ray since I've been supervisor. He was the engineer for our town and he's done a fantastic job, both with our water and sewer projects as well as a variety of other projects. And I think a lot of the supervisors on this meeting have worked with Ray in one way, shape, or form.
I'm excited about that. I think he's going to be great for the whole public works and can't wait to work with him. Yep.
And if anybody, in terms of going back to the
Sure.
controller, in terms of process, Michael Reardon can fill you in on the interview process, which is very, very similar to the MIS interview process.
Chairman, is the controller position somebody that's currently in that department working their way up, or is it a new hire?
It's a new hire.
New hire, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And I know you said you sent the resume. I may have missed it. I'll look through. If not, I'll email you to send it.
Yep. Well, we sent it to the committee.
Awesome.
Before I'm gonna be probably scheduling a special full board meeting because, for a variety of reasons, we have to vote on the sheriff's contract. I like to vote on this to get him on board sooner than later so that there's some transition. We'll also be proposing a consultant contract with Ron Caponera to do a transition, with the new person as well. So there's a few things that, we need to do before our December board meeting. Just to give you a heads up.
Okay.
It'll probably be Monday, the 22nd, the meeting.
Okay. If you don't mind, Chairman, I know my caucus is going to want to see the resume, and I'm sure they're going to have questions
Well,
because
we'll
we like to
send it
ask
with-
questions. So if you can share that resume with me.
We'll send it.
It
So
was
I can
sent
share-
at 10:31 this morning.
Oh,
Was
okay,
it sent
great.
to
Thanks,
everyone,
Kelly.
Kelly, or just?
10:31 this morning to the committee, and you'll see the resolution request first and the resumes behind it on the attachment.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And
we'll
that's
send
okay
it-
to send along, Chairman?
Yes, we'll send it to all the board members, as well, just so they have it.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
You beat me to it, Kelly. I was just gonna say that.
Are there any other, is there any other business? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Hello?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take care,
Thanks
everyone.
all.
We'll see you on the next meeting.
Yep. November Health and Human Services Committee meeting to order, please. First up would be the Health Department.
Okay, as previously reported, we're receiving $849,000 to the state for the Public Health Leadership Corps. This is to help rebuild local health departments devastated by resignations and retirements during the COVID. Our first position that we want to attempt to fill is a nursing position. This is to create and fill with that funding. We've had conversations. I know Michael Reardon's had conversations with the union that this position is grant funded. It's not a permanent position. On the other hand, I do think I have retirements coming in the next 2 years, which is the length of time that the grant is going. So this will help with immunizations as well as testing.
I'll move it, Morel.
Second,
Second, Bury.
all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? So carried.
So as you know that the state smoking age is 21. Back when it was 18, the state allowed us, when we did tobacco stings, to take as young as 15-year-olds out, 16, 17-year-olds out. Now they want us to take out 19 and 20-year-olds. There is a lot of jobs out there, and this is a very short-term job, very limited in terms of hours. We're having a hard time recruiting people to do this. We have one 19-year-old that is doing all of our tobacco stings right now for us. Thank God we have her. What we want to do is the reimbursement has been $50 for essentially 3 hours worth of work, which is $16.67. We want to boost it to $20. Very minimal impact budgetary wise, because we don't do a lot of these over the course of the year, but we're hoping that advertising a $20 an hour rate would get us some more teenagers.
Any questions?
Move it, Morel.
Second,
Second, Bury.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried.
So we're overseeing the Healing Community Study Grant, which is out of Columbia University, addressing the opioid issue here in the county. We have money for staffing positions. We also have money for what's called community impact dollars. So this is actually to pay for programming in the community. We have a previous relationship with the Mental Health Association where we've given them money in the past. We have some additional funds that we want to disperse. This is to train first responders to how to deal with the opioid issues that they may find when they arrive at a scene. $11,734.
I'll move it.
Second,
Betsy, second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
We also have a similar arrangement with Twin County Recovery Services where we've dispensed the community impact dollars to them. They want to add a nurse practitioner position to the department to help with medication assisted treatment, or MAT. This is a partial payment with Greene County, since Twin Counties is a 2-county program, so that's $73,624.
Questions? Motion?
Sterling.
Bury, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
So that's the resolutions for today. We have our environmental monthly report before you. If there's any questions on that, while you're looking at that, I'll tell you that we've seen a big bump up in our number of cases. We had 22 cases on Saturday. That's the most we've had since February. We had 42 cases yesterday. We just got slammed. And we started today with 16 and we're up to 28. There doesn't seem to be an end in sight on that. Logical question is, what percentage of these folks are vaccinated versus unvaccinated? We're actually seeing more like 60% of the folks that are coming through are vaccinated. These are breakout cases, but they're also not severe. We only have 3 people in the hospital and nobody in the ICU. And I also tell you that as of Saturday's numbers, the 22, 14 of them were students, were kids. Today's numbers, about 9 out of the 28 are kids. So this is the Delta variant. It's doing a number on our kids. We have staff up in New Lebanon and staff in Germantown right now as we speak, vaccinating 5 to 11-year-olds. We had a crew go to Hudson and Taconic yesterday. And tomorrow we have a big pod. It's going to be an interesting event. It's at the Chatham Firehouse. We're doing Ichabod Crane and Chatham students. And we have over 229 kids registered. So it's going to be a big pod. And it should be really interesting. We learned some things yesterday that 5 to 11-year-olds are not easy to vaccinate. Sometimes they need to be held down. And parents very often, try to get out of the room when that has to happen. So we need to do things a little differently. We learned some things yesterday, and hopefully things will smooth out a little bit, today. I'll take any questions. Brenda Adams, raise your hand.
Brenda,
Okay.
you got to unmute.
Do you think this is the Delta variant, or do you think it is the fact that kids are inside more, or both?
I think it's both. We kind of hit the ground running with the kids. The Ichabod Crane, right from the start of school, took off. They had a lot of positives up there, eventually topping 40. Now it's Hudson was kind of running a close second. Now Chatham is, getting up there. So I do think it's both. And I think what we're seeing, and I know I've reported this out before, what's different now is that we get a positive in the family, and then we contact that family, and we're finding the people with symptoms, and we test them, and they're positive. So the variant is getting into family systems, and everybody ends up getting affected by it. So that we're finding that to be different than it was last spring.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jack, real quick, I'm doing every Friday at the town hall and the gym. We're doing, boosters and so forth. Is there any way we can start doing, the kids and so forth, since I'm in Ichabod Crane School District and Chatham's right around the corner? But I do have people asking me, why can't we bring the kids there? So is that allowed yet or no?
Well, so the short answer is yes. We've been providing, it's the Glacier Rescue Squad that's doing the vaccinations. They're the only squad that went out and become a provider in the county to do it. We've been providing them with the vaccine that they need, and we can certainly provide them with the kids dose.
Yeah, maybe we should talk to them and see if we can do that, because I do have people asking me and so forth. And the times, like I do one from 4 to 7, is more convenient for them to bring their child there at that hour. And it's a Friday, and then they have all weekend if they have a reaction and so forth. A lot of people, even myself, had a reaction to boosters. So, but I'm worried about these younger ones, and plus they scream and kick and yell.
Well, that's the only thing. Have you talked to Valatia to find out if they actually want to do kids? Because it's not easy. It's not easy. And we are doing all of our pods in schools from either 3 to 6 or 4 to 7, just to make it easy on parents, so that they can go home and get their kids and bring them back.
Yeah, I'll talk to them and then they'll talk to you. Okay, thanks, Jack.
Any other questions? Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Kevin?
Yes, good afternoon, folks. Like I said, I submitted my monthly report, which again, I'd like to skip over that for briefly just to go into our resolutions. The first resolution is to authorize us to contract with various providers for regular renewed services that we have, such as our dietitian for legal services, with the health department for Tai Chi, and also with the healthcare consortium for transportation of our seniors.
I'll move it, Patsy.
Second,
Eldridge.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Okay, thank you. And my second request is seeking authorization to contract with an agency. It's called Accent Healthcare Services. They're up in Troy, to provide training to individuals to become personal care aides. we were fortunate with our first two people that applied for the job were already certified, so we didn't have to do this. But since then, we have had a couple of people that have, shown some interest in applying for these jobs. However, they are not properly certified. So what we'd like to do is contract with this agency up in Troy. And you can see by the thing, I think it's $400 per student to have them trained, and then they can be certified to become personal care aides.
I have a quick question, Kevin.
Sure.
Not that it makes a difference because I know how difficult it is. You spend $400 to certify them. What is their commitment?
That's a good question.
Because, what is their commitment? Because they can get certified and go elsewhere and.
Right. Well,
Columbia County
we're hoping, Supervisor, that we check the hourly wages from the places that we have had contracts with, and it's quite a bit less than what we're paying. Plus, we're providing them with transportation. So,
Okay.
I mean, and they could not use this certification to go to a nursing home, because nursing homes you have to do CNA. So we're hoping that they would make, and we're going to try to spell that out to them too when they make that commitment. But no, we can't really guarantee it. We're just,
I know, because there's so many, there's assisted livings, because the PCA, HHA, they can go into assisted livings as well, which of course are looking for staff. So, and it is difficult at best, I know, to get any kind of a commitment, get them to sign a contract, because where are you going to get them to pay the money back from if they, left? So it's, catch-22. All right. Thanks, Kevin.
thank you. Yeah.
Brenda?
So Kevin, did we hire the first two that were certified?
Yes, we did.
And,
did.
and so you think we could get at least two more out of this group?
I think there's one that was very anxious to come to work. So I think we can get at least one of them. And as you'll see when I go over my report, I think one more will totally eliminate our current waiting list.
That's terrific. One more or two more? One
more. I think one more, but what I think is probably going to happen, there are a lot of seniors out there who haven't even requested this service in the past because they knew that we couldn't provide it. So now that the word's going to get out that we're able to do that, and we're hopeful that these people will come forward and request our services. So, but right now it's working fantastically. It really is.
So the other part to my question was that we're going to get to the outlying areas like Austerlitz, Canaan, and New Lebanon with our hires.
Yes, right now, if I know we got to do this resolution first, but just remind me, Supervisor, when we get to the monthly report, I've got all that in there.
Thank you.
Sarah?
Yeah, this is about the monthly report. That wasn't in the documents ahead of time. So if we could get that sent out, Kelly, afterwards or something.
It's on your website.
I didn't see it.
No, it's not.
No, I'm sorry. It was actually in the email that was sent to you guys with all the literature, all the
Oh,
you go to your attachment, it's all in
all
there.
right. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, a motion?
I'll move it, Adams.
Second?
Sterling.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried.
Okay. Now getting to the report and to address that question, these are the towns where we've been able to get our staff out to: Ankrum, Copake, Hudson, Austerlitz, Gallatin, Kinderhook, Canaan, Gant, Livingston, and New Lebanon. Oh, and Clawbrook too. Clawbrook and New Lebanon. And like I said, these folks they were ecstatic to get somebody there. So we're really happy. We've cut we went from 22 down to 5 on the waiting list right now. And again, we're hopeful that once we hire at least one, if not two more aides, we'll be able to do away with the waiting list. And those on the waiting list are basically respite cases, which more or less, they do have someone that can assist them. Our respite program is just to provide the caregiver with a little bit of a break. Okay, so we focus primarily on the people who are alone, to get them the aids, the services that they needed. So.
Brenda?
So Kevin, do you think we're at a point now where we can do some outreach associated with this and let people know that the program is active if we make this third hire?
Yeah, I think we can do some outreach. Like I said, we may have already existing cases who have not asked for this service. Like I said, we have a lot of people who are just receiving home delivered meals, and they may have already known that we're not going to be able to provide this, and we're hoping that our case managers are reassessing all of our cases, and I'm sure this is going to be presented to them.
I was thinking if we could just let the representatives to the council know that this program is now live and active, and
okay, and I could do that tomorrow. We have, or not tomorrow, Friday we have a meeting.
that
our
would be
end of the year
terrific.
meeting.
I think they'd be very encouraged to hear that.
Okay, will do.
Any other questions? Good work, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you for your
Right.
support, folks.
Very nice.
Thank
very
you.
nice.
DSS?
Excuse me. Good afternoon, everyone. We'll start out with my requests.
Bob, can you move your camera up just a little bit?
A little better.
It's a little better, yeah.
I'm on a little tablet. So.
Gotcha. Although it was just pointing down at your chin.
Okay.
There you go.
It's a nice chin.
I didn't say anything bad about his chin. I just said it was pointing at it.
So
Okay.
the first request is to fill one caseworker position, grade 15, base salary $55,293, and any backfills created therefrom. This is vacant due to a resignation.
Move it, Morel.
Second,
Second, Mushman.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
The second request is to fill one child support specialist position, grade 12A, base salary $45,158. This is and any backfills created therefrom. Very unfortunately, this is as a result of an untimely death caused by COVID early last winter. So we're looking to fill that now.
So moved, Adams.
Second,
Second, Mushman.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
The third request is, and I'll explain a little bit after I get it out, but it is to convert one clerk typist position, which is a grade 10.5, to a community services aide position, which is at the same grade and same salary. But as we take a close look at this, we realize that the community services aide, that position encompasses everything that the clerk typist position encompasses and more. So it would seem to us as we go through and we get the clerk positions vacated that we might want to convert them over to community services aide, which gives us a lot more flexibility with the employee themselves. It's not going to take any union positions away. It's obviously going to add to the number of community services aides that we have going forward, and there's no additional cost.
I'll make a motion, Mushman.
Second,
Adams.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried.
Okay, the next request is to enter into an agreement with Melanie Miller for the provision of mental health services, assessments, and counseling.
Move
make
it,
a motion.
Patsy.
Second, Mussman.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
The next request is to enter into an agreement with one of my current employees, Norma Shook, who will be retiring, but is quite an expert on Medicaid, all things Medicaid. And she did agree that she would come back and we would work out the hours. They'd be no more than 17 per week. And stay on with me as a consultant, at least for the next year. And I have to say that's going to be pretty critical, as I'm not sure what changes are coming up the pike when it comes to Medicaid.
Move it, Morel.
Second,
Sterling.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried.
The final request is to purchase and install a two-way talk-through window in our DSS lobby, and I'll get into that a little bit. We did open during COVID. We opened up a service window. We had to stick it over on a certain corner of the building because where our receptionists sit, we just had a solid window open there, and so they weren't really able to take care of anybody. One of the problems that came up with that is it split up our security detail, and then the sheriff's department thought that that wasn't a great idea, and the service window itself wasn't as convenient as it could be. I ended up having to get an awning for it. So this would be like one of those big bank windows. It's phase one of a two-phase project whereby a great deal of transactions between the agency and the public will be able to be done very quickly, either by walk-up service, and then after phase two, which is next year, where we are going to get one of those pneumatic systems that will allow people to drive up and put documents in and leave. The good part about this is when presented to the committee, I made the argument that I first started to go in this direction because of COVID, for safety for the public and safety for my staff, and therefore, and it's going to be used going forward. Presumably, if there's still pandemic issues, we thought that COVID funds ought to cover this. Brought this up to the attention of the folks over there, including Ron Knott, who agreed. I don't know if he had a chance to address any supervisors on the committee, but so, the good part is I think it's going to be fully funded by the COVID expense line. Now, I had the money in my building account to do it and saved the money to do it, but this appears it would be fully reimbursable. So I just ask for approval to do that.
I'll move it, Patsy.
Second,
Sterling.
all in favor?
Bob, do you think?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. Go ahead.
Quick question. Will this save a lot of time, do you think, or make it just easier in general?
I do. As I said, it's going to come in two phases. People have very much enjoyed being able to drop off whatever materials have to be dropped off for recertification. And they've enjoyed the convenience, and obviously it's kept traffic in the lobby down during a time when we wanted to do that. It's interesting, due to the events of the last 18 months, I think the state has changed its posture quite a bit, and they are moving to much more user-friendly recertification processes, phone, mailing things in, and the like. So this is very timely for that. So I think that all in all, it's going to keep traffic down, but the clients seem to enjoy the convenience of walking up to the window. And we had to close that when we reopened the building for security. Again, I couldn't have my staff spread out. And they've been asking, is there going to be a window? So yeah, I think that it's going to be very effective. And I think once we complete the process with a drive up, between that and all the changes that the state has made on recertifications, we're much more user friendly.
Great, thanks.
Okay,
And as always, I will remain available here for the rest of the meeting for any questions that may come up.
thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
I have a question, Bob. How's that Galvin motel working with the COVID? I mean, is that being used?
So we did not have to use that, and we're past that part now. Interestingly enough, in the call this morning on the emergency services, we're going to need a place again by the end of November, and I don't really have a. So I don't think we can enter into the same type of agreement again. The Galvin is full. So if we're going to use motels, Jack, Mab, and I, probably along with other people on the committee, are just going to have to stay in close contact, probably almost daily, to say, okay, Bob, what have you got open in case something comes up today? Because, we don't really have a house after November. I'm not sure what the county's thinking on that is going to be, whether it's going to try to enter into a lease somewhere else. But we are not using Galvin, as that is filled now with other folks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Dan?
Yep, good afternoon, everybody. There's quite a number of resolutions here. I'll do my best to walk you through them in a timely fashion. The first one that we're looking at has to do with the New York State Office of Mental Health offering us some funds in the amount of $60,000 to help us improve our recruiting, our workforce development, our training, etc. So I would definitely like to take them up on this offer. I'd like your support around this.
Motion? Questions?
Motion.
Thank you.
Second?
Second, Adams.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried.
Okay, this is similar in that the New York State Office of Alcoholism and Substance Abuse Services is offering the Department of Human Services a lesser amount, but for similar reasons. So again, I'd like your support in accepting these funds so that we can put them to good use as far as trying to recruit and retain individuals to work here at the Department of Human Services.
Move that, Bury.
Second?
Adams.
Betsy.
Adams, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
This next resolution has to do with making an adjustment between the contracts and the 2022 budget, specifically for two providers, the Mental Health Association and Twin County Recovery Services. So I ask your support in making those adjustments to correct or bring into line the 2022 budget.
Move that, Bury.
Second?
Sterling.
Mussman.
Sterling, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So carried.
All right, this has to do with the announcement of a retirement of one of our psychiatric nurse practitioners. She will be, her last day will be on the 16th of January, 2022. I think you're all aware of the difficulties in terms of identifying, recruiting, onboarding, especially when it comes to prescribers, which is what the psychiatric nurse practitioner would be doing. She'd be prescribing medicine as well as doing psychiatric evaluations. Those are the primary two roles that we use nurse practitioners in. So I'd like your support in starting the search for this candidate. I'd like your permission to start sooner than later. I would like to avoid having to wait until this individual has left us because of the significant number of cases that she currently works with.
Kathy?
Why is she leaving?
She's retiring.
Ah, okay.
I'll move it, Morel.
Second,
Mussman, second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried.
This is a continuation of a contract that we've had ongoing with an entity called Cathode Ray. They maintain a social media website for the Columbia Green Addiction Coalition. We split this cost between ourselves here in Columbia County as well as Greene County. Our portion of it is, where is it? It's
2350.
350. Yeah.
I'll move it, Adams.
Second,
Patsy.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So carried.
All right, this is also a continuation for the upcoming year. We contract with Upper Hudson Planned Parenthood around two specific initiatives. One of them, not the psychiatric nurse practitioner that's retiring, but our other psychiatric nurse practitioner provides supervision over an OMH program that they're involved in, that Upper Hudson Planned Parenthood is involved in, and requires supervision to be provided. So our psychiatric nurse practitioner fills and meets that obligation. The other portion of this is that they have licensed master's level social workers that require supervision, regular supervision. So our psychologist is providing that supervision to those individuals at the Upper Hudson Planned Parenthood Clinic.
I'll make the motion.
Mussman, second,
Sterling.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Eldridge abstained. I abstained.
Okay,
Thank
You
you.
have to state why.
Religious beliefs.
Okay.
This is also a continuation of an existing resolution between the Department of Human Services, or I should say the county, excuse me, and Columbia Memorial Health with regard to Columbia Memorial Health providing the services of one of their psychiatrists to the Department of Human Services.
I'll move it, Adams.
second,
Patsy.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
I promise we're getting to the end soon. This is also a continuation. We have not been able to fulfill this contract for a period of, I believe, 2 years. This is the contract with Columbia Green Community College to provide behavioral health services to the student body. Due to our workforce issues and challenges, we've not been able to do that. However, in conversations with President Drummer, she has assured me that she would, welcome us when the time comes that we can allocate the staff to this initiative. So I feel it's indicated to continue it because I'm very hopeful and optimistic that at some point in 2022 we'll be able to do that for the students at Columbia Green Community College.
I'll make the motion, Mussman.
Second,
Sterling.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Okay, this is also a continuation of a pre-existing contract having to do with coordinated care services, better known as CCSI. This is for financial consulting. This helps out my Deputy of Administration and Finance, Joe Ambrose, in terms of there's issues and times when he needs to consult with CCSI around various initiatives. So I ask for your support. It's a relatively small amount.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried.
Wait, who made, I'm
We gotta
sorry,
make the motion.
there's no
No
motion.
I'll move it, Morel.
Second,
Second, Mussman.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Again, this is also a continuation. We have a previous resolution and contract with the Chatham Central School District in which we created a menu of services, behavioral health type services that they could choose from with a designated fee for those services. They have not, as of recently, taken us up on that. But with the number of students returning to on-site learning, we felt that it was prudent to continue this contract in hopes that should they call upon us, we'd like to have an approved resolution and contract in place to be able to oblige their requests.
Move it, Morel.
Second,
Second, Mushman.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Okay, brings us to the overtime report. As you can see, we started out with the initial budgeted amount of $12,000. We've spent just a fraction of that, $1840.46, brings the balance to $10,159.54, well under budget. And if I may, there were some talking points that I don't know how they didn't end up on the agenda. I apologize for that. We've pretty much discussed the vacant nurse practitioner, but I don't know how two got messed up. I'd like to just take a minute and discuss with everybody my decision, which I am asking for your support around, which would be to end the satellite that we have in Valatia. We, for several years now, have maintained a behavioral health satellite at the Valatia Medical Arts Building. And for at least the last 3, maybe even 4 years, this has not been trending financially in the way that we would like. COVID has certainly had an impact on that. The reason for this decision at this time is because of the continued difficulty in bringing on board clinical staff. Just as a reminder, I have 4 clinical vacancies in the clinic itself. And the resumes are just not coming. They're just not coming in. So in order to make the Valatia Medical Arts satellite viable, we have to have clinical staff out there on site. We have to have a minimum of 3 staff on site at any given time because of an agreement around safety between the county and UPSEU. So if I were to take resources in the form of staff away from our primary site here in Hudson, that would be delaying and hurting our ability to operationalize programs and initiatives here at our primary site at this point. I cannot afford to take the resources in terms of manpower and dedicate them to Valatia at this time. I just don't have them. And the expense of the Valatia Medical Arts Center at this point, at the minimal, is $36,000 in rent. And then there are additional expenses beyond that. So I would say annually the total cost comes in at about maybe $45,000. So it is with a heavy heart that I make this decision, and I have the support of my leadership team to do this. So I bring this to you for questions, and I ask you ultimately for your support to dismantle this satellite, with the understanding that should we be able to, operate more efficiently and relaunch programs here in Hudson, such as eliminate the wait list, make our walk-in clinic viable again, the open access model, which is how we take people and admit people into the clinic. And, if there is a need that can be demonstrated for face-to-face services in that part of the county, I would be happy to look for a different space and consider bringing another proposal to you to launch a satellite in that part of the county. But at this point, it just doesn't make sense from a resource standpoint, from a financial standpoint. And I see that.
Nazi.
Yeah.
So Dan, that satellite was set up a long time ago, and I remember it very well, is because we felt the northern part of the county wasn't able to get people all the way down to Hudson also, besides the schools in the area, Chatham, Ichabod, so forth and so on. It did come to us at a long time ago at a town to come into the town building and so forth. And that's what I wanted you to call me about.
I figured,
that,
yeah.
you know, I always was in favor of it, and there's some studies that you can still be able to do it. And I know the expense could be much lower than what you are paying now.
Right.
But we will have to work, the trouble is we would have to work out with Glacier and the town of Kinderhook. And I'm willing to give you a few guidelines before I say goodbye and to help you out. I feel that I'm not sure we hit enough of the northern part of the county, and that was a lot of the resource why we did that area. And I understand the help, but does it have to be every day? Can it be part-time? Can it be, 2 days a week or something like that? And
Right.
and that
So-
would be helpful. Where are they?
Well, so let me respond to that, Supervisor Leader, and you make a lot of good points. So there's several elements to this decision. One element is a financial element. The other one is simply a staffing element. The financial element is that, we've been losing money there for many years now. And to continue to absorb the $40,000+ expense at this time, I don't know if that's prudent. Then there's the staffing element. At this point, I need every single minute of every single clinician's time here in Hudson. I don't feel as though I can allocate them to be in a different part of the county for an hour or for a half hour or for a minute, because I need everybody here in Hudson so that I can relaunch programs and initiatives that have been on pause for nearly 2 years now, with the hope that I will eventually be able to identify some candidates to come and fill those 4 remaining clinical positions. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know when that's going to happen. So that's a big unknown. So yes, it's very good. It's very appealing to hear that there might be an option in terms of a different location, and that I might get the cooperation from the tenants at the location that you mentioned. But that's just part of it. Even if it came at no cost whatsoever in terms of rent, even if it was donated, the space, I still would be hard pressed to justify sending my staff out there for, 1 day a week. Now, what's the silver lining in all of this? And if there is a silver lining, I believe it's this, that things are different than they were when we operationalized this clinic. We now have expanded our menu of services. Historically, our menu of services was limited to face-to-face. That is what we could get reimbursed for. Now we can get reimbursed for face-to-face, video sessions, as well as telephonic sessions. It's uncertain as to whether telephonic will remain in the queue indefinitely or whether that will sunset at some point. But I can assure you that the video sessions and the face-to-face sessions are not going anywhere. They are part of our operating certificate under the New York State Office of Mental Health. So for those residents that live in areas that are not proximal to Hudson, we can serve them via a video connection if they have the bandwidth, the internet capability, and if they don't, we will serve them via the telephone. Telephone is less than ideal. Video is better. Face-to-face is better than video. So there is a continuum in terms of the type of service, but right now, excuse me, this is the reality that we're facing. I don't see it as a wise decision to continue to have this satellite. And I should mention, our lease goes until September of 2022. So if I should get your support to do this, to move to the next step, I would then reach out to the landlords and try to negotiate some sort of a buyout, so that we don't have to be held accountable until September of 2022.
I would suggest, since it was just brought to me and it was just brought to the committee, it was brought to me this morning, Dan, or yesterday morning? I don't remember now.
Yeah, good question. I believe it was this morning.
And I don't think the county's had an opportunity to look at that lease, which is not until next, which is till next September. I think we should just do a little more background before we have any sort of vote or make any decisions tonight. We can bring it back up in next month's committee meeting, which will still give you plenty of time you've given everybody a good overall view of, your concerns and thoughts and where the direction you think we should go in. Give everybody an opportunity here to swallow that a little bit and bring it back up next month. I think that's the way we should handle it. If everybody
I would
go with that.
completely understand that logic, and I would be fine with that.
Okay.
Now, is there going to be a special Health and Human Services Home Committee meeting next month, or because usually in December we don't meet? Is that correct?
But it would have to be in January.
January.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, time is on our side with this, but I just wanted to bring this to you. I wanted to explain my logic, my thinking behind it, and
if anybody in the committee has any other questions or thoughts from now until then, you can present them to me and I'll get them over to Dan. So that would be, give us all a little more time to look through this. Okay. Kathy, you had a question? Kathy, you're
If
muted.
you want me to wait, I will. I just, my question is, how many people do you service out there?
well, define service if you mean face to face, or
Yeah.
if you mean
Yeah, how many-
telephonically or through a video connection.
Face to
In
face.
terms of face to face, we have one clinician that is seeing people face to face, and it's about 3 or 4 people a week.
Okay, thank you.
And that's only been recently because, we tried to make a go of it. I was trying to, as a department head, I was really trying to get my clinical staff to agree to go to Valatia, to dedicate hours to being on site, and then cultivating a caseload of individuals that want to be seen face to face. But in thinking about it, it wasn't unfolding in the way that I had hoped. So, that prompted me to reassess and make the determination that we really need all of our clinical resources here in Hudson, especially if we can't fill those 4 vacancies.
Yeah.
Patsy?
Thanks, Dan.
You bet.
Dan, just thank you, okay? But remember that can still be out there for you,
Yes.
You don't have to call me now.
Okay.
But I just want to let you know, I've been brainstorming and asking around, but I understand you need everybody in Hudson,
I
But as
appreciate
soon as
that.
you can start getting the staff going, I mean, unfortunately, it's all over. It's not just what you do; it's everybody.
Agreed.
So I want to say thank you. But remember, even after that, I'm not here. I'm still have a good voice here in the town. So if you need help, you can call me.
Thank you, Supervisor Leader. I sincerely appreciate that. And, as my clinic director who's on the call, Amber Klein, made me promise that, she said, Dan, we can't forget about this, the way some people say, oh, after high school, I'm going to eventually go to college, and they never do. We will revisit this. We will make sure that if there is a need for face-to-face in that part of the community, that once we're appropriately staffed, we will revisit this, because it is very important. And there was a time when our Valatia Medical Arts satellite was thriving and really robust and serving that part of the county in such a beautiful way. But a lot has happened since then. So I'd like to remain optimistic. And so your offering of that alternative site is very appealing. And, when the time is right, I would like to take you up on it.
Brenda?
Dan, do you think the 3 or 4 clients a week that we're seeing there now could be could be served through the other methods that you describe, either through video or phones?
Yes, I've talked to the clinician. We have 1 support staff on site, and then we have 2 clinicians to make the minimum staffing of 3 that I talked about. The other clinician is not doing face-to-face, but is out at the Valatia Medical Arts satellite. So that leaves 1 clinician that's been, really trying to cultivate some clients for face-to-face sessions. I've spoken to her. She understands the logic and the reason behind the decision, and she's going to be speaking to the clients and working out either a telephone schedule or a video schedule.
So there won't be any drop-in service, basically. That's the important. Okay. They'll still have access to services.
Yes, of course, yes.
Great.
If
Any other
there's
questions?
If there's no other questions about the Valatia Medical Arts satellite, I feel it is my duty to make you aware of a certain development. This is a late-breaking development, so the dust is still settling on this, but I just feel obligated to make you all aware as the department head, but also as the director of community services. I was informed late last night that Twin County Recovery Services, which, as most, if not all of you know, is our only outpatient substance abuse provider here in Columbia County. Their executive director has resigned. She has not given any notice, so her resignation is as of today. It's an immediate resignation. And then their director of residential services has also resigned. So residential services in Columbia County, that's the red door, that services men. And Riverside is the female equivalent, that's located in Greene County. So this is extremely concerning to me as the Director of Community Services because I'm very worried about the viability of this service. They've been going through all the hardships that I've been talking to you about in terms of the clinic and the Department of Human Services, in terms of people resigning, people retiring, going elsewhere for employment, et cetera, et cetera. And then now to have this, it's very concerning. So I'm talking to members of their board to try to get more information under my role as the Director of Community Services. And as appropriate and indicated, I will give you all updates. But the head of the board was on site here in Columbia County all day long, talking with the clinic director and other staff there, just trying to, I guess, quiet their anxieties and their fears about what the future may hold. Because something like this, can really spike people's anxiety and cause almost like a contagious panic. So after this call, I'll be reaching out to the head of the board at Twin Counties to see if there's any additional information that they can share with me. But I just wanted to let you all know about this.
Are they a 501c3?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Dan, can we talk tomorrow about this?
Sure, no problem, Chairman. Just send me an invite and I'll make myself available.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, you bet.
Any
Dan,
other?
I have a
Go
I have a
ahead.
question.
Sure, Supervisor.
The red door is my neighbor here. You mean there's no one supervising that site?
Well, the honest answer is I don't know. I need to believe that they've set something up, because when I was notified by a member of the board, the Twin Counties board, my initial response was, because there was conversation about, okay, who can we come in, what provider, what is Oasis going to do, et cetera. And I said, look, you got to get over there tomorrow morning and talk to the staff and figure out how the day-to-day is going to be managed. That's priority number one. Because people are going to freak out, people are going to become extremely anxious, and we have to avoid a panic. We have to avoid a mass exodus of staff. That's one thing. The other thing is we have to tap into the remaining resources, people that have served in that role previously. We have a woman who's still with Twin Counties who previously supervised and oversaw the 2 residences. So is she in a position to do double duty for a period of time? She happens to be the clinic director of the Twin Counties, the Greene County portion of Twin Counties. So is she willing to step back into her previous role and oversee the men's and women's residences? So I think that was being worked out today, Supervisor Mussman. So that's my plan, to get informed about, well, what happened today? What decisions were made? What's the plan? How are we going to get through today, tomorrow, the end of the week, and next week? Because I think that's most important. We can worry about, how the provider community may be able to help with resources and so on and so forth, or who may be interested in stepping up, but we got to cover today and tomorrow.
You know what the
Dan?
capacity is?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Do you know, are they at capacity in one or both sites?
I don't know that
Okay.
in terms of, I believe, I think the previous executive director was looking to expand the number of beds. I think their capacity is something like 15. That's here at the Red Door, the men's residence. I'm not sure about Riverside. And I don't know in terms of where they're at as far as capacity.
Thank you.
Bob?
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Obviously, I have share, as you do, mutual clients have contracts. I heard this morning, I'm very concerned. I think we should meet on this as soon as you start to get some more information.
Yeah, agreed, Commissioner Gibson. I have spoken to my counterpart, Jason Fredenberg from Greene County, and we want to just allow the board to kind of stabilize the agency. And then he and I were planning on reaching out to the board's president and saying, look, how can we help? What can we do? What is the plan? Please inform us. And are you open to suggestions and guidance from us as the directors of community services? And that might be the time when we fold, yourself in and others. I informed them that I would be speaking on this tonight with all of you. I also asked, do you have a plan to inform the provider network throughout Columbia County? The other executive directors, such as, MHA and the hospital and so on and so forth, because Twin Counties is such an important piece of the continuum of care that this is huge. And, we don't want to add to their stress right now. We want to be helpful and a resource. So I want to just give them a few days, but definitely by next week, I think we should organize a call.
Thank you, Dan.
You bet.
Any other questions? Thank you very
Okay.
much, Dan. We appreciate the heads up too on all of this.
You bet. I appreciate your time. Thank you for your support. Have a good evening, everybody.
Take care.
That's it, Kelly?
That is.
Motion to adjourn unless anybody else has anything else to bring up?
I'll
Okay.
make that motion, Patsy.
Second,
Sterling.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Thank you, everybody.
Take care.